I'm really impressed with this organ. It's such a nice organ. Hello and welcome to another video and to another organ. I don't feel like I've said that for quite a few weeks, because I haven't, but life just gets busy sometimes. But here we are back to look at this lovely organ here at Darlington Baptist Church. This is a church I've tried to get into on a few occasions over the last couple of years, but without success. But today is the day. This is a 2-manual tracker action organ built by Forster Andrews in 1897. It was restored in 1997 by H.E. Preston Organ Builders of Durham, and most recently had an overhaul in 2018. It is in a nice condition. Everything works, everything sounds nice and looks nice. It looks clean and presentable, which is always nice. It has a lovely set of stops. Unfortunately, it's not tuned as regularly as it probably should be, but having said that, this organ isn't used very often. As you can probably see from the pictures, this congregation is accompanied predominantly by a band and by that lovely grand piano right there behind me, and so the organ isn't used very often. It is used, however, for funerals and weddings if they can find an organist. So if you live in the Darlington area and you're interested in becoming involved in this church and you can play the organ, do get in touch and I'm sure they'll be delighted to speak to you. But without further ado, let's have a look at the organ. So yeah, this organ is a 2-manual tracker action organ. Again, it was built in 1897 and really is in good nick. There's quite a few little bits out of tune on it, particularly the reeds. Again, that's because it's not maintained very often, not used very often, but everything works and that's the point. So let's have a look at some of these stops. So to the right here we have the great organ, which is the lower manual. Starting at the bottom, as you would expect, we have an 8-foot open diapason. And we have an 8-foot raw flute. Deep tone. For a string here we have an 8-foot dulciana. We have the 4-foot principal. Dear me. A 4-foot harmonic flute. And to brighten everything up here at the top, we have a 2-foot 15th. So let's try something with the dulciana and the raw flute. And with full organ. has some beef. You probably saw from the pictures that right in front of the organ here there is a screen which I assume that they put words on for the songs that they sing here. It does block the sound a little bit and the appearance of the organ, but again, hopefully you can see some pictures of this spotted metal pipework at the front. It's a lovely, lovely looking organ, it really is. Particularly with that 15th as well, that brightens everything up really, really nicely. And a lovely light action for a tracker, it really is. Haven't tried it with the couplers yet, but we'll get to that point. Moving over to the swell, which is the left-hand stops and the top manual. Again, we start with an 8-foot open diapason. Sounds quite stringy. We have an 8-foot hall flute. And a string, we have an 8-foot gamba. Some lovely depth. And we have a Vox Celeste, an 8-foot. And I imagine if we put that with the gamba, we'll get that lovely beat. We do get that lovely beat, but it's a little bit out of tune, but we get the idea. A 4-foot gems horn. Nice. Moving up to the final 2 stops, which are both reeds, and I have tried this slightly before I started the recording. These are quite out of tune, so I do warn you. We have an 8-foot horn. That's really not too bad actually. Nice powerful horn, that isn't too bad tune wise. Some of the top notes don't work. And we have an 8-foot oboe. They really sound nice actually, other than being out of tune and quite a few notes not working. That is nothing that cannot be solved with a good tune and a good service. That's all that needs, and that will sound really nice. At the very top here we have a tremulant, a noisy tremulant. You can hear that going, it's fast. Let's try that with the open. A slightly unreliable tremulant, but nothing that can't be put right with a good service. So it's all good. Moving down to the pedal board, we have two stops on the pedals, very much what you would expect. We have a 16-foot open diapason, and a 16-foot Borden. Tune, but beefy, do exactly what you want. Brilliant. I'm really impressed with this organ. It's such a nice organ. While we're talking about pedal stops, the pedal board is a straight pedal board. It looks at some point like it had a ratchet swell pedal. That has now been replaced with a centralized balanced swell pedal. It has two combination pedals, both of which operate stops on the swell organ. Nothing to operate the great organ other than pulling the stops out manually. Right down at the bottom here we have 4 couplers. Again, pretty much what you would expect. We have a great to pedal, a swell to pedal, a swell to great, and a swell octave, which makes up for the fact that we don't have a 2-foot on the swell. Overall, in my opinion, it's a lovely set of stops. It looks nice, it looks clean, it looks loved, it looks cared for. Unfortunately, it really isn't. It's just not maintained, but it looks like it is, and it really looks like it wouldn't need very much work at all to get this back up to a really nice playable standard. So I'm going to conclude this video here. Hope you've enjoyed having a look at this lovely organ. It's really impressive. Such a shame it isn't used very often, but we see this more and more. As usual, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. Please give this video a like if you like the video. Please share it around, and please feel free to leave a comment. I try and respond to them all. So until next time, I shall see you later. Bye for now.